All right, Josh, I'm bringing on a good friend today.
Oh, okay. Who is it?
Not just my friend, also my mentor.
Whoa,
I don't know if you
okay.
know this, but I joined Flyte's Entrepreneur Empowerment Program.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
Not really too much.
Okay, so the gist of it is a 12-month long free program for Louisiana small business owners. It includes mentorship, virtual learning about marketing, personal and business
Hmm,
finance, just pretty much everything you need when you're just starting out to help you level up.
that's awesome. And who are bringing in from this?
Alexander Bigbie, the founder of the organization.
The man himself. Well, let's
Yeah,
get ready to talk to him.
let's bring him out.
All right. Bigbie!
Missions Bayou.
Welcome. Thanks for joining. I need a second. I
She wasn't
need-
prepared for that.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
As a cohort member of your program, I'd like to know what need did you see in creating this program?
So I moved to, gosh, it's eight years ago now. And before that, I had a career in banking, went straight into the nonprofit world as a small business consultant. So I pretty quickly got to understand different programs and how they were serving small businesses in the community. So I became this consultant for Propeller and Fund 17 and worked with a few other organizations. I quickly realized that the existing ecosystem was really only serving a very, very small, like minuscule percentage of small businesses. And there were certain things that the current programming landscape wasn't really doing, that wasn't capturing enough businesses. So, the first thing was that a lot of the programs were for businesses that were already pretty developed and not really, really early stage. So most businesses were just not getting onto these programs, and there wasn't really anyone serving that really, really early stage small business owner. So that was one thing and one need that I saw that wasn't being met. The other was doing a program virtually. No one was doing virtual programs, and we were the first one. I mean, the pandemic kind of put everyone onto virtual, but we were the first organization to just say, okay, our program is going to stay virtual. It improves accessibility, especially if you have a business, family, a job, as quite a few small business owners do. So a virtual program with a lot of flexibility in the schedule was something that we could offer that no one else did. And then again, there was a very clear need for that in the community. So and then also geographic accessibility. I mean, if you're not in the New Orleans area, a lot of these programs are in the metro area, and you have to turn up for a certain number of hours a week, and it's very intensive. There was a need for a program that's more flexible, and that was also over a longer period of time. And that was another need that I identified, was a lot of programs are 3 months long, and they're super intensive, and there's a lot of knowledge and resources thrown at you, and then it ends.
Yeah.
And so I decided, actually, I think minimum 12 months is what you need, because when you've got all this knowledge and resources, you want to sort of space those out, and you also want time to build in the knowledge and develop, strong, long-lasting habits. And I think the final thing was financial wellness being baked into the program. So a lot of the programs had, great resources and some good learning, but they weren't focusing enough on the personal finance component of being a business owner. And that's really important, because if you don't have emergency savings and you're not doing great on your budgeting, you don't have much of a financial plan, it's going to be really hard to have a successful small business. So we really wanted to incorporate good financial management on the personal front into the program. So those are really the main things that differentiate us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess too, because you particular, what did you feel this program, outside of expanding it to everybody, in the local marketplace, why you for this program, and what really does this program represent?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of people, ask, why is this British guy running a program that serves mostly Black women-owned businesses in Southeast Louisiana? And in terms of what my skill set lends to it, so I mentioned that I came from a career in banking. So I spent 5 years in London working in banking and working specifically with, how to get capital to businesses of all sizes. I worked with small business and I worked with multinational corporations. So, I really understand what the banks are looking for when a business approaches them and is asking for a loan
Mm.
or a line of credit or whatever. And so, having that banker's perspective really helped me create a program where we're really teaching business owners the essentials of how am I going to get that first kind of rung of capital? Even if it's a business credit card, that is essentially accessing capital. It's part of the ladder of accessing capital. How do I do that? So understanding, the role that banks play, what they're looking for, what kind of financial statements they need, the quality of those financial statements, the questions they'll ask, that really helps. And just the importance of relationships with financial institutions. So, I knew that anyone I worked with, if I had a good relationship with a client at the bank, I was a lot more likely to kind of make the extra effort to get them the financing that they needed. So it's one of the things we try and do on the program is you got to know the name of your business banker at your local bank who you work with, and you also have to have a business bank account. A lot of businesses on the program don't have a business bank account at the start. We try and get that done pretty quickly because there's a lot of things you can't do when you don't have a business bank account and you're not separating personal and business finances. So.
Yeah.
That's something you've helped me with on the program, getting connected with we just talked about this, my business banker.
Yep.
I had no idea who that was, what that was before.
Yeah.
And also just, I think some of the language around like what I need to say to them, what I need to bring to them when I'm asking for funding and trying to raise capital.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very important.
Yeah. No, that's great. As you've been building this program out, what have been some of the things that you've learned from the program so far?
Oh gosh. I mean, we're on year 4 right now, going into year 5. I mean, I feel like I'm constantly learning all the time about what kind of subjects we should be teaching, how the mentorship should work, what resources we should be bringing into the program. So, I mean, this year, for example, we brought in the emotions of finance into the program, which you were able to join. That's a new thing, and something absolutely no one else is doing, even people who run financial wellness programs. It was a new syllabus that was developed by a therapy collective. And we did that first, and I wanted that because I think there's just so many emotional barriers and complex emotional relationships that we have with our finances. And it's really important to understand those and to try and break those down a little bit and see, okay, what are the obstacles I'm running into with myself when it comes to the way I treat my finances and my business finances. So that's something I think we'll keep. Really like that. Other things, gosh, I think what are the other learns that I've got this year? I think that's kind of the main one, but trying to space out the learning a bit more. We used to do all the learning really quickly at the beginning of the program and not give the businesses, I think, enough time to bake in the individual topics. So we cover the emotions of finance, as I said, but also personal finance, and then marketing, business finance. So we really try and cover everything as much as we can. And I think we're not giving enough time between those different topics we cover to actually bake those in. So this year, I'm hoping to space out the learning a little bit more, and really make sure that the business's mentors are looking at all of the things we've covered and making sure that the business owners are implementing those and that the habits that they're forming are long lasting.
Right.
That's something, it takes so many months to but learn how to budget effectively, or begin to check your credit score regularly, or to look at your books every month in your business.
Make those routines, make those habits.
No, it's really important, and our job is to really encourage habit-forming behavior on the
Yeah.
program.
I was gonna say, are you kind of sad now that you know that like the program's you only getting better since you've
Yeah.
done it? You know?
Well, I will do it again next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, she coming back. She's coming back.
I'm actually getting a spoiler alert
Yeah.
on how it'll
Oh,
be
okay.
next year.
So,
you know,
yeah.
watch out, she's coming in.
So that's one of the things that I think I mentioned it makes us unique, as well as we don't
Yeah.
just say 1 year and one and done. We allow people on the program and even alumni to reapply. It's a big program. This year we're recruiting 120 businesses.
Wow.
And that gives us some flexibility to keep working with the people that we want to work with. So if somebody really liked the resources, they want a refresher on the learning, they want to kind of have access to some of the new resources we're bringing in. That's something we want to actively encourage. I don't like the idea of a graduation, as a lot of programs do, because I want Flyte to be a constant resource in every business owner's lives who's part of our community.
That's awesome.
It's super important because you as a business owner, you're always leaning on resources around you as much as possible, and it's really important to have pretty consistent support. And that was another thing I found as a mentor with other programs, is that I was constantly getting emails and calls from people I'd worked with, just asking me questions, or just with some kind of business issue. Maybe years after I'd worked with them. So that support should be there as much as it can be.
Yeah.
And something that's, again, very different from any other programs out there.
Yeah, and people get to start with someone and then carry that journey on.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what you just said about like it. As a business owner, it's never really over, right? Like there's going to be some other new
It ain't
challenge.
until it's over.
Yeah.
It's never over. You're learning all the
You're
time.
constantly learning. And something else about what I think makes Flyte unique. In a previous episode, we had Sam from Loyola Entrepreneurship Center, and he was talking about the new things happening at NOE. And I mentioned, I'm glad that I'm seeing stuff that isn't just tech-based in the programming. And I feel like what Flyte does, what you said about how it's small businesses who are just starting out, but aren't in a very specific space, right? You can be in food. You can be like me in product.
We don't do tech.
All right. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm not anti-tech, but we do Main Street when it comes to the businesses we work with, because there's so many other accelerators out there that are tech-focused. The Idea Villages of this world. There's a big ecosystem for tech here, whereas we're Main Street, as you pointed out, all the industries you work with. I think those are the businesses that have a lot of cultural significance in the city. Food and beverage, health and wellness, a lot of different retail.
There's transportation. I mean, there's so, and it also has given me an opportunity, because again, when you're in a program where everyone's kind of in the same umbrella, it's helpful, but then you also don't get that cross sector of, well, how can I work with you in the future?
Yeah, that's another thing something that I think we can do better on is more networking, more interconnectivity with different businesses on the program, because of the virtual nature. We do in-person networking events, but there's a lot of work, and I want to be able to do more of that. So I'm hoping to partner up with more organizations who can do the events for us, and we just bring the people.
Yeah.
So I'm always on the lookout for more opportunities like that, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing that we're, obviously, you're building this program out, but, one of the things that we're always curious about too is just when does this program start, and what kind of people are,
So
what can people be expecting for it?
It's a perpetual program in the sense that it's always running. So as you guess, with 12,
hop on in at any point. Get on that train.
With a 12-month program, it never stops.
Yeah.
So it always starts in June, first week of June every year. We are launching the applications this Monday, 24th of February. So that's when it opens to the public. It's pretty competitive. I did say that there are 120 places. We have opened it already to referrals from people in our program. That's already got about 55 individuals that are probably going to be on the program. So there's still 65 places, which is a lot. But we get on day one, hundreds and hundreds of applications. But that being said, I really encourage people to apply. We also keep the mailing list of anyone who applies, and that we shoot out the email for next year. So please do apply if you're a small business owner in Southeast Louisiana. I mean, we open it to the whole state, but we're more concentrated in Southeast Louisiana. We do focus on Black women-owned businesses from low and moderate income households. That being said, that is a majority of the program. That's not the entire program. We work with business owners from every background in the state. So everyone is warmly encouraged to apply. And hopefully, next year we're going up to 140 businesses.
Wow.
The idea is that we can continue to expand by about 20 businesses a year if we're able to secure the funding, which is always something at the back of my mind.
Old challenge.
Yes, for a non-profit.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but we're good for 120 coming up in
awesome.
this June, and so the sooner you apply, that it's on a rolling basis, the likelier you are to get onto the program. So if you're watching this, fill out the form.
Fill that form out.
Fill that form out ASAP, because I've already started reviewing them. Once that opens on the 24th, I will just be looking down the list of people who've applied and interviewing the ones that I think would be a good fit for the program.
What's an outcome you think, in your words, businesses can expect by doing the program?
So, as I've mentioned a lot, this is a financial wellness program for both personal finance and your business. So, on the personal finance front, we're looking to improve credit. We're looking to help ensure you've got a budget that you look at regularly, you update regularly. That you've built up your emergency funds. So those are kind of the personal finance things. We also have certified financial planners who volunteer with us pro bono, that you worked with one, that they have helped you develop a longer term financial plan, so that you're looking towards maybe not retirement, but at some longer into the future. So and you're also filing your taxes correctly, things like that. Really, thrilling stuff like that.
I'm jumping out of my seat, ready to get on that roller coaster.
Well, I mean, shout out to Katrina. I worked with her for my retirement planning.
Oh,
so yeah.
Katrina, all right.
And she did a good job.
She did great. Yeah.
I was gonna say keep going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say on the business front, and of course, people join, and who are more and less advanced when it comes to their business. But you want to make sure that you're separating your personal and business finances. You're creating accurate financial statements. You've been filing accurate sets of taxes. That your business, you have a marketing plan, a budget. Essentially, that your business back office is in the best place possible. So you're properly incorporated. You're properly insured, you're properly licensed. Again, thrilling stuff. But we want to make sure that the back office, the front office, they're all in the best position they possibly can be after 12 months. We don't necessarily measure like revenue goals. We're not like, we 10x sales. My belief is that when you have all the elements correctly in place, that the sales and the profits follow.
Yeah.
So it's those typically once you've got all those in place, you will start to see the impacts. So
you're not on Instagram like telling everybody I'm about to 5x your business now. Get on it now.
I am not, because that would open me up to all kinds of liability.
Well, I get that. Well, I'm curious for if you can rack back in your brain out of all these benefits, all these things that you provide. Is there a success story outside of Maya, of course?
I was going to say
biggest success story we've.
I was going to say, Maya, obviously.
But outside of Maya, because we already know how successful she is.
Yeah.
It's more so. Is there someone that comes to your mind that or a business that?
Yeah,
really,
there's a couple, and it's not. I'm not going to credit Flyte entirely, because there's a lot of other reasons for their success.
Hey, they're not here, so you can take all the credit. No.
Well, fantastic. But there's the ballerina who's she makes cheesecakes that are just the best. So yeah, we worked together a few years ago, and she's worked with other programs too. So again, not just Flyte; it's the whole ecosystem that's made this happen. But she's making her cakes out of the kitchen, her home kitchen. now she has this big commercial kitchen. She supplies supermarkets,
Wow.
stores, and some restaurants around town. She was at the Super Bowl
Wow.
recently, so she is high flying. You know,
Wow.
she's killing it. So she's definitely one of the businesses I'm most proud to work with. She also did my groom's cake for my wedding.
Wow.
Not that that's a huge accolade,
Oh man,
but
God, it made
but
your
but I was, I was like, I've got to have all of these
that's
visiting,
exclusive, you
all of these
know?
visiting people taste this cheesecake.
Yeah.
Even though it's not what we're known for in New Orleans,
Yeah.
it's still the best
Wow.
I've had.
Wow.
And Tangerine Kitchen is another one. They do a burger called the Mandela Burger, which is an all vegan burger. Again, you know, we're not the only people to work with them, but we have. They've opened up a facility which we were able to help negotiate the lending for. There was the brick and mortar, so they are now supplying supermarkets across the Gulf Coast, and they are opening a storefront as well, and bringing you know, a healthier alternative to a regular, you know, full meat and a dairy burger to the masses.
I do love a full meat burger.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Who doesn't love that?
But it's good. It's a good. It's a very, you know, it's a good vegan burger. So yeah, there's so many others. I mean, we work with hundreds of businesses. I could be here for hours talking about them.
All right, we'll check our time.
Yeah. All right, go. Yeah, there's so many, and there's just so many, you know, just smaller successes that are, you know, still really, really big ones in relative terms for the business owners that I see every day. I still mentor 35 of the businesses. We have 3 mentors that we've hired who do the others, but you know, we share that. We have a huddle every couple of weeks as mentors, and we get to share the successes. And there are lots of them. And it's a lot of small ones that add up to that longer term big success. And that's the part of the job that I love the most. Of the many things I really, you know, love running Flyte, but watching business owners kind of lives transform over the 12 months or more than 12 months, it's just the best feeling. And you know, you can't buy that. You get to see somebody's business really start to grow and thrive, and see their personal finances get really strong, and just you get to see that transformation in real time, and that's just it's the best feeling ever, and you get to see that for 100 people. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Flying to new heights with Flyte.
Finding new heights, yes.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Taking off.
Taking off, you know. Flyte's blasting off again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the application is opening February 24th, and so small business owners can apply. How can other people in the community or maybe bigger businesses help support Flyte?
It's a great question. So we have a huge partner network of organizations and individuals that volunteer, including colleges and corporations, banks, who give their services pro bono to individuals on the program. If you are interested and you have a skill set that you think that might help small business owners, email me directly. So you can, I don't know, you can put that Bigbie.
Put it down.
Yeah, put it up just under here on the screen. I'm very happy to have my email out there. It's on our website. You know, we don't ask much of our volunteers. You know, if you want to give an hour a year, I'll take it. As I said, we have dozens of individuals working at businesses and colleges and students across the city and the state who give their time to the program. It's what makes it possible. It's about $120,000 a year worth of in-kind services we get for our program right now. So really, it helps it become possible. It's very rewarding because you know, you're getting to use a skill that you have to benefit the community, and we kind of bring that to you instead of you having to go out there and look for it. I think that's another thing about the program that's kind of unique, is we're a really good platform for people who want to volunteer but don't really know how. So they can just come to Flyte and say, hey, you know, I'm a really good bookkeeper. I can give you 1 hour a month just to look over someone's books. You'll go into our system and I'll find you someone who needs an hour of bookkeeping a month. You know, there's a huge amount of demand. And so we're always trying to build up that resource pool as much as possible. So yeah, please, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm a lawyer, I do contract law. I could do an hour helping business owners look over a contract. drop me an email. I'll find you some volunteer work. It's something that is super important to us. So please.
Awesome, love it. Well, can't say enough. If you haven't supported this organization or this man right here, you got to get on it right now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Always
a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, now you got to test. We're gonna test our wits against you and see if you can see which one of our English accents is the best English accent.
Okay. I will give you a score out of 10.
You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. What's my favorite line? I think my favorite line is oh man. I've been watching so much Harry Potter, and I just quote all the lines in the movie now. I can't think of them. It's like I'm on the spot. Okay, but I'm gonna do the Classico. I'm gonna do the El Clasico.
Please don't be the line I want to also say.
I'm going to bed before either of you gets us expelled, or worse, gets us killed, or worse, expelled. She got to work on her priorities. That's my favorite one.
That's a solid 5.
All right, 5.
How do I compete?
You don't know
you
top of the morning to you.
Oh, she really went with the weeping ball.
What was that at the beginning?
That's all British people talk.
I'm pretty sure I just ruined my chances of being back in the flight program. So.
Oh no! What can we do to amend this?
Maybe they'll be like, I lost your application. You can't come back.
It's all right. Well, thank you, Bigbie, for being on the show. It's been fantastic.
Josh,
It's unbelievable.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep my American accent. It's been
all
a
right,
pleasure.
now wait,
Thanks
Bigbie, you got to do an American accent. Go.
Oh, God. Well, good morning to you.
All right. There we go. We're saving that one. Putting that on the Flyte Instagram.
Right there. First one.
I love it.
Wow. Anyway.
Thanks for listening to Missions Bayou, powered by Comfy Stone. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment, letting us know your thoughts and who you'd like to hear from next. We'll see y'all next time.